Known as a ground pounder, you're looking at a modified with 600 horsepower, open wheels, and big tires. These race cars provide wild action and unparalleled racing. This car belongs to Junior Miller, a 5-time Bowman Grey Stadium champ. Their names aren't Petty, Earnhardt, or Gordon, but they are racers. And on any given weekend, you can find them on local short tracks sprinkled throughout the country. As NASCAR's top 3 series race in 3 different states this weekend, we take a look back at one of the tracks where the sport got its start. Smothered in history, Bowman Grey Stadium sits in the shadows of NASCAR's headquarters, tucked quietly away along Tobacco Road.
You open the book of the people that's raced here and done well, and it's just about the history of the sport.
You'd come here and you'd see people wall to wall all the way around the thing.
I mean, this was a free-for-all. I've seen them fight their way into this place.
It's got a lot of history to it, and I really enjoyed coming and running here.
Nestled in the hills of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, sits one of racing's hidden treasures, Bowman Grey Stadium. An unusual quarter-mile flat bull ring with a football field in its infield. The stadium has hosted NASCAR racing since 1949.
When I first came here at Bowman Grey, come through that back gate there, and I looked and I said, I don't see how they got enough room to even play football, much less run a race around here.
It's what racing's all about. You don't have to run 200 miles an hour to put on a great show.
The tight confines of the stadium made for some of the roughest racing in the country, providing fans and competitors with tales that will last forever.
I started on the outside pole here one night, and Curtis Turner was behind me in Junior Johnson's Ford. He drove me straight into the wall in turn 1 on the green flag. It took me about 100 laps to catch him. He got into me again, and so I just got into him.
They put on a demonstration on the back straightaway here that brought every person in the grandstand to their feet.
We ended up out there in the grass in the infield doing a destruction derby on each other, and the fans loved it.
That's not the only time that I've been entertained here. I saw a guy get a spanking here one night from Lee Petty, so he was too small to fight, so he just turned him over his knee and spanked him.
Big-time NASCAR racing abandoned Bowman Grey in 1971, with Bobby Allison winning the final Grand National event at the stadium. But while many tracks of racing's past have long since faded, Bowman Grey Stadium lives on.
Here's the 835th edition of Still the Most Exotic of Them All. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to historic Bowman Grey Stadium.
Saturday night short tracking still packs them in at the old stadium.
It's so unique because there's no other place like it in the country, nowhere. You might see a fight, you might see a wreck. That's why they've got more people in the stands than anybody in the whole country.
When you buy a ticket here at Bowman Grey, you know it's going to be worth the price of the ticket because somebody's going to do something pretty special.
It's a neat place. It's a family-oriented place. It's somewhere you can bring your kid and have a good time on a weekend and teach them the values of racing.
In its 56th year, Bowman Grey is a throwback to the early days of racing. Today's stadium heroes carve their way around the same turns as the legends before them.
I've come over here since I was old enough to crawl. I've seen Richard Petty win his 100th Winston Cup race here. I've watched a lot of heroes and modifieds run here over the years. I've been fortunate enough myself to be able to come over with my dad's cars and run for some years.
At one time or another, most everyone that ever had any success at all has raced here.
And when you start looking in that program of past winners, and I think it kind of hits you, that this place here, as big as NASCAR is now and as big as the series is now, as far as Cup and everything, this is where it started, bottom line.
Let's go racing!
Monty Flock was the very first winner at Bowman Gray, but it was his brother Tim who went on to win the first stadium title in 1949. Bowman Grey Stadium is as grassroots as any NASCAR track you will find. And every Saturday night until August 21st, you can see for yourself. This weekend, accompanying the mods, a stadium stock race, and girls, in 2 weeks, it's $1 Ladies Night. Can't pass that up. And the all-time short track wins leader, the King, Richard Petty, won 139 of his career 200 wins on short tracks. 4 of those coming at Bowman Gray, including the 100th of his career. David Pearson nearly won half of his 105 wins on short tracks. He equaled the total of Lee Petty on the shorts. 1961 and 65 NASCAR champ Ned Jarrett won all but 2 of his career 50 wins on short tracks. We'll be right back after this short break.